All right, welcome back to pre-calculus. We are looking at this kind of a problem. We have tangent is equal to 8/5, and we know that the theta is in quadrant 3, and the instructions on the problem here, let's see here, is figure out the exact values of the sine of 2 theta, cosine of 2 theta, and tangent of 2 theta. So we're going to go ahead and take a look at that. So for this problem, first thing I'm going to say to you is draw a triangle, because we know that the tangent of theta is equal to 8/5, meaning that here's my triangle. Okay, let me go ahead and draw a nice triangle here. That's a terrible triangle, but we'll fix that. Okay. And we know that tangent is opposite over adjacent. Here's my theta. It's technically in quadrant 3, so we have to go ahead and figure that out. But we can go ahead and do it in quadrant 3 over here. So this would technically be -8 and -5. Okay. For 8/5. And then we have to figure out the rest of what's going on here. So my hypotenuse here, we have a squared plus b squared is equal to c squared. So we'll say this is 5 squared plus 8 squared is equal to c squared, which is equal to 25 plus 64 is equal to c squared. Okay, just squaring both sides, squaring the sides and adding them up. So it looks like we're going to get, it looks like 89 is equal to c squared here. So c is equal to the square root of 89. 80 square root of 89 is a prime number, I believe, so it doesn't really have anything that's going to be worthwhile here. So we can say this is here is the square root of 89. There's no simplification things I can deal with. I'm just stuck with square root of 89. All right, next part. So now we have theta figured out. Okay, now we have to figure out what is the sine of 2 theta. Well, sine of 2 theta is equal to 2 sine theta times the cosine of theta. So that's going to be 2 times the sine, which is going to be, well, let's put it back in the third quadrant here so we can go ahead and make sure that we are going to figure this thing out correctly. So we're actually looking for this theta in quadrant 3. Okay, again, here's my eyeball looking at my angle. So we're going to say that the sine of this angle is actually going to be -8 over the square root of 89. Okay, times, and now I need the cosine of this angle. It's going to be -5 over the square root of 89. So we have -5 over the square root of 89. All right, now we can figure out what this is going to go on here. So we have 2 times 5, 2 times 8 times 5. 8 times 5 is going to be 40. 40 times 2 is going to be 80. Square root of 89 times square root of 89 is, surprise, 89. And this was a positive number. So we are all set with ready to go for this one. So this is my sine of 2 theta. Okay. For the next value, we have cosine of 2 theta. Like, what's cosine of 2 theta equal to? Again, we have to go ahead and figure out what's going to happen here. You could do sine squared. You could do cosine squared minus sine squared, right? That's one option. Okay, and I might go with that one. We could have 2 cosine squared minus 1. Okay, or we have 1 minus 2 sine squared. I'm going to pick the first option just for the sake of picking the first option. All of these are valid choices. Okay, you pick your favorite. Okay, cosine of 2 theta. It's a wonderful set of identities to know because it's kind of like the Swiss Army knife of double angle formulas. Okay, again, I'm going to pick cosine squared minus sine squared. So we're just going to go through and do that. So we're going to say that cosine 2 theta is equal to cosine squared minus sine squared. I'm looking at my cosine of this angle, and that's going to be -5 over 89, -5 over the square root of 89. And then we're going to square this thing, minus the sine squared. So that's going to be -8 over the square root of 89 squared. Okay. So we have a little bit of arithmetic to work out here. Okay. So we go ahead and multiply this out. We're going to say -5 squared, we get 25. Square root of 89 squared is just going to be 89. Okay. -8 squared is going to be 64. And then we have 89 on the bottom here. Okay. So it looks like we have to do 25 minus 64. Okay. So we'll go ahead and work that out. So we've got a 6, 5. It looks like we have a 9. We have it. So this is going to be -39 because -64 is a little bit bigger, divided by 89. And we know that this is negative, which is fine. Okay, just kind of checking to make sure we have our signs and what we're doing with all of that. So here is my next value here. Okay, and then last but not least, we want the tangent of 2 theta. Now, for my class, I told my students you don't have to memorize this. Okay, some of my students do, but not all of them. Okay, so here is the goal here is that we have 80 over 89. Okay, this is my sine of 2 theta. And I'm going to say divided by, this is 89, not 99, divided by cosine of 2 theta. Okay, and that's going to be negative 39 over 89. So we're going to be able to say that we've got 80 over 89 divided by negative 39 divided by 89. That's going to turn into 80 over 89 times 89 over 39. Negative, we'll put the negative over there. The 89s will cancel, and I end up with negative 80 over 39. That is my value for tangent of 2 theta. Okay, so that was pretty much everything we had to do. You'll notice that we are not multiplying 8/5 by anything in order to get this value. We are going through drawing the triangle, figure out the sine of 2 theta, cosine of 2 theta in order to get the tangent of 2 theta. So that's how we do a problem like that. Okay, thank you very much for watching the video. I will see you in the next one. Very good.